Special AFSCA Convention Message. Bright World in Hands of Saucer Movement. Editor's note, this special message was received from Master Callan Liraton, head of the planet Corendor, about 400 light-years distant, on May 4, 1966 via special directional shortwave radio by Bob Renault, the young electronic technician whose remarkable story we printed in issues number 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22, and which will be continued in our next issue. Since Bob's initial radio contact in 1961, he has talked with the crew of a spacecraft as he watched them on his special TV screen in his home and eventually met his contacts in person, visited their undersea and underground bases on our planet, was taken aboard many of their spaceships, and was actually allowed to pilot two of their small scout craft, one on a short solo flight. Hello, friends. We will get directly to the point of our message to you. Frankly, we are appalled at the state of Earth at present. Despite our constant warnings and even our actual intervention in some instances, the condition upon your planet grows steadily worse. One subject on everyone's lips these days is Vietnam. From a little civil war, it has grown steadily and inexorably into a full-scale conflict between the world's three major powers, the United States, the Soviet Union, and Communist China. Many influential people have used the approach of patriotism and love of God and country to twist decent human feelings into dangerous channels of thought and action. With their charges of treason and sympathy with the enemy, they have aroused a good portion of the populace to a state of fear, distrust, and hatred of those who seek peace and love. Unfortunately, because some unconventional individuals have been associated with the peace movement, that entire operation has been seriously hindered. Your government is a military puppet, a mere parrot of the monstrosity that is the military-industrial complex. Your senators, except for a few, are robots, speaking what they are told to say. Your president is, unfortunately, a pawn of their needs and demands. We have contacted him several times concerning the state of affairs, and he has said that he could do nothing to change them, for if he were to speak out against the Asian conflict, he would be removed. This is what happened to the late Mr. Kennedy, who, in his great humanitarianism, was reluctant to sacrifice his ideals and his visions for the sake of the military-industrial octopus. He paid the supreme penalty for his efforts in behalf of humanity. Make no mistake. Your government is not in the White House or the Congress. It is in the Pentagon, and in the headquarters of the vast defense-oriented industries. It is they, not the president or the congressman, who run the United States. The facade government is merely to allay undue alarm or suspicion of the people. Examine another aspect of the Asian war, the economic side. Do you recall that, in the stock reports just recently, the Dow Jones average dropped sharply because of a rumor that North Vietnam had made a peace bid? Does the staggering implication of this news evade you? Stock prices suffering a heavy loss because of a rumor that peace might come to pass. This thought is most distressing. Your economy relies so heavily upon war and destruction, that if it were to stop, the United States economy would suffer a massive depression. Your money system would collapse like a house of cards. Millions would be unemployed, sick, hungry, and homeless. Tremendous industrial complexes would close their doors. The utterly appalling fact is this: war is profitable. Highly so. Every major conflict has been accompanied by a strong peak in your monetary prosperity. Peace has usually been economically painful. After World War I, the nation coasted for a while upon the fat put on during the boom of the war years. In 1929, the bottom fell out. After the Korean War, in the 1950s came another recession. What comes after Vietnam? No one knows, and no one wants to find out. The war in Vietnam is bringing an unheard of degree of affluence in the United States. Why kill a good thing by ending the war? The philosophy, in essence, is this: it is economically expedient to send military forces to Vietnam and elsewhere in Asia in order to wage war, because in doing so, the United States economy is bolstered and maintained at a high level of prosperity, human life is secondary to the preservation of economic well-being. It is thus evident that, unless a drastic change is made in the structure of your economy, war will never end because the military-industrial complex won't let it. Many of you fear communism. Where did that fear come from, I ask you? From within yourself? No. It was brainwashed into you by the military-industrial complex. Who controls all your news media? The government and the advertisers. Who, then, is in a position to dictate what shall be printed?